health and peace and happiness for everyone. Ashreinu, atov chelkeinu, how good and beautiful is our heritage. Parashat Mishpatim, Tafshin Pei Bet. This video Dvar Torah begins its journey based on the book Ha'arat Meshorer, a comments of a poet on the parasha, written by my dear friend Meron Isaacson, who is a lawyer and a poet. I mention these details that Meron is a lawyer and a poet because they are totally relevant to these words of Torah. Several times in Parashat Mishpatim, the Torah notices and points out human emotions and turns these emotions into laws, into halachot. Right at the beginning of the parasha, the Torah is discussing the laws of Eved Ivri, a Jewish slave. He's allowed to be free after 6 years of work, but if he doesn't want to, if he says, Ahavti et Adoni et ishti ve'et banai, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I don't want to go free, then he doesn't have to go free. Why do the rules, the laws, mention what this slave is feeling? Because it is humanistic. Because you must notice a human being's emotions, his feelings, his needs. And the Torah takes these emotions and turns them into halachot. A second example is the law relating to strangers. Veger lo toneh velo tilchatzenu. Don't make a stranger, a ger, feel bad. Don't oppress him. Don't press him and make him feel weak, because ki gerim heitem be'eretz Mitzrayim. You were the strangers in Mitzrayim. You know what it's like to feel as the weak one, the outsider in society. Don't treat outsiders in your society, strangers in your society, that way. A third example is if you gave a loan to a person and this person is not a rich person. He took the loan because he needs the money and he can't pay it back easily. So you want to take something to be security so that you'll get back the loan. If you take his garments that he needs for nighttime, pajamas, if you take his nighttime garments during the day as a security, you have to give it back to him at night, because otherwise he might be stressed and he will cry out to Hashem. And we are sensitive to that. You are not allowed to keep them in your hands. You have to return them to him so he won't be under stress and won't cry out to Hashem. The fourth example is if you see your enemy's donkey and he's carrying a lot of weight and he collapsed, you have to help him. You can't just leave him there alone, because would you want to be left alone in such a situation? The Torah goes into his feelings, into his needs, something that might make him feel stressed, and you have to be sensitive to that, and you are commanded to help him. Again, time and time again, the Torah is noticing emotions, human emotions and needs, and turning them into halachot. On the one hand, noticing the emotions, noticing what a human being is feeling, makes sure that these don't become just technical rules. These are rules of human sensitivity. On the other hand, the Torah doesn't just say, in general, take note of another person's feelings. The Torah takes these feelings, these situations, these emotions, and turns them into commandment, into rules, into laws. This reminds me of the famous story about Hillel HaZaken, who told a person who wanted to convert that the basic rule of the Torah is, Mai desani alach lechavrach lo ta'avid. What you don't like to be done to you, don't do to someone else. Again, the basic law of the Torah is notice what someone else is feeling. But that's not all of the Torah. The Torah then means, Hillel says to this convert, to this potential convert, Ve'idach zil gmor, the rest of the Torah you have to go and learn it. The Torah takes this basic concept and turns it into rules and halachot. That is the way of the Torah of Hashem. Notice human beings, notice their feelings, their needs, and turn those needs into actions, into halachot of how to relate to other people. Shabbat Shalom.